PTC Creo Parametric 3.0 lesson number 21. This will be a top-down project. So first thing we want to do is get the one part that's given to us, which is the cylinder rod, and extract it to your working directory. I'm going to put mine on the desktop. You should have it in a working directory. And at this point, you should actually go and select your working directory and make sure that you are in the correct spot. So this is going to be new, assembly. It's your pulley assembly. You can rotate this around to see this a little better. Make sure you check all of these on. Your system manager can turn these on. In industry, they usually choose to keep them off. Okay. And we're going to assemble the cylinder rod at the default position. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a pulley, and the pulley itself is going to be a revolved feature. So what we want to do is we want to sketch on, first of all, let's start off with a new part, and that part is going to be your pulley. And you're going to locate it default datums just like before, and select the coordinate system of the assembly. It'll gray everything out. So we're going to revolve it around here. So our sketching plane is going to be DTM3. Make sure you click revolve, and we'll go into the sketch view orientation. And then we have to establish a few items. First of all, let's go to our references, and we want our, put your cursor here, you can eventually see it, curve for the key seat, and we want the upper portion of the shaft, not this. This is just a cut that happens because of the key seat itself. So we want this upper portion as a reference here. And close. And the other thing we need is a center line, or an axis of revolution. So right mouse button, axis of revolution, select on the datum planes here, like so. And then we're going to sketch cross section of our pulley. I'll zoom up a little bit. And let's start off with a construction center line down the middle here. And line. And I'm going to start right here. I actually can start here, but you can see I hit the wrong thing. So I'm going to zoom up. I really want it to start here, not here, at the midpoint, right here. And I'm going to come over to here. And I'm going to go up and over, a little bit of an angle. This represents the V, middle mouse button, a couple of times. So there's my geometry. Don't worry about it right now. Select all of it and go up to the mirror command and select your axes, or I should say center line, you put it there. And there's our cross section. At this point, you do want to clean this up. So dimension, and I'll put in the angle dimension here. And let's make that whatever you want. This is your design. Everybody should be different. And the other thing we need is a dimension for, we've got one here. Let's click on it and move it. And let's make it, I'm just going to make it 2.5. I hate it when it resizes, but it's going to keep doing that. Nothing I can do about it. And I think the distance here, that might be a good one to have. So dimension, and select the line. And that one will be 0.75 is good enough. The only other dimensions, and these are very important, are the diameter dimensions. You've got 3 of them here, and that might be a problem because there really wasn't supposed to be a dimension for this one right here. So let's see what happened. We've got our dimensions. I'm going to move them out. We can make these a little bit more logical. I think I'll go 12. And the other one, I think I'll go 10. I don't know why it always resizes, but it does. And we could tie this dimension into the shaft and make it have a tolerance, but in reality, I wanted this to be on that, and this diameter should not be showing up. So let's use coincident and pick on the line here, and then pick on the edge, and the dimension will go away. So it's going to be tied into the diameter here. So complete the sketch, complete the pulley. If you want, at that point, probably a good idea to change the excuse me, the appearance, whatever you want it to be. I think I'll go with a light color here just for now. Oh, hit it twice, so as we can see it. And while we're here, if you wanted to do more work on this, you could add some cutouts, and you could add a hub in here by cutting out some of the material. So model, I'm going to go back, and I think I'm just going to select revolve again. This time I'm going to remove material and right mouse button, define internal sketch, and I'm going to use previous. Now what that's going to do, it's going to give me the exact same view as I had before. So again, I need my axis of revolution, and I'm going to need some references. On the outside here, probably the main one that I need. I don't think I need any other one. Close. And I'm going to put this into a hidden line and then do my sketch. So I'm going to sketch in here. So this is nothing more than a cut, a revolved cut to create. I'm going to close it so you can see it. So there's my construction. The yellow wasn't a good choice, was it? So right mouse button, let's see what happens. Click OK, and there's my cutout. Right. Now you can do the same thing with the other one. You could put a datum plane down the middle and mirror that cut, or you could make the cut however you wish with the sketch again. Let's see what happens if we go back into the sketch. And let's put in a reference here. And let's put in a construction center line. Hook it onto the middle, vertical. Okay. And make sure you have a construction center line down the middle. I think I already did that. I'll do it again. And capture everything. And let's go and select mirror and pick here. And let's put it into no hidden and see what happens. So that looks okay. So I just mirrored the cut over. I didn't change the dimension on this. I should have, but I'm not going to. And okay. Let's see what happens. And you have your hub. Now, last thing you may want to do is put some lightening holes to make it lighter. So let's click on hole, click on the surface here, and let's make this diameter. See, we got to pick the axes here. Yeah, I selected the wrong one because I didn't hold down my control key. And let's make it diameter, and then hold down the control key and select this and see what happens. I'm still getting in the wrong spot. All right, so let's pick here, and I forgot to select inside here. I'm going to pick my axial, and then I will select diameter, and it gives me my diameter dimension. That's what I was trying to do in the first place. Didn't do a very good job, did I? Now I've got to establish the angle that it's at. Hold down the control key. I'm going to hit the datum plane down the middle here. And it's going to give me an angle. So first of all, my hole's a little big. Its position is a little bit wrong. And on the axis here, let's make this, let's just make it 7. That should work. And the angle, let's make it 0. And the hole, let's make it 1. Again, yours will be different. Mine's a little close there. So, about 7.25, see what happens. That's a little bit better. So make sure you use your diameter. That's the most important thing. So we'll leave that hole there. Right mouse button, let us pattern it. And we will use axes. Pattern it. There's the axes. It just puts in 4. You can put in more if you wish. Check. That makes it a little bit lighter. And again, you could make these slots. You could put a whole bunch of holes in there. It's up to you how fancy you want to get. If you take a look at what we give you here, there's actually a little tiny icon. Somebody actually put a bearing and a motor on here and a second pulley. You don't have to do all that for the projects. Click on the assembly. Let's activate it. Back out here. And next we're going to do the pulley. So we're going to we're going to do the belt. Belt. Okay. Locate coordinate system again. And oddly enough, we're going to use a sketching plane way back here. So we're going to sketch, select that as our sketch plane, and go into 2D. And as far as our references go, we want the reference down the middle here, and we want the arc. Right mouse button, let's put in a circle. And actually we want to put in 2 circles. This one's going to lock in. Make sure you get it locked in. And then we're going to go up to line, and we're going to click on tangent, and we're going to put a couple of tangent lines in, like so. And since it's not shaded, it means it's an invalid section because these internal lines, we have to delete those segments. So you can click on them, or you can draw through them like a spine. Middle mouse button, and you'll see it's valid. Well, I'm getting my call in here. Everybody tells me I should get rid of the quack on my phone, but I didn't. All right, so double click here, and we will make this, let's say, 4 inches. That's a little big. How about 3? Like so. That looks pretty good. Now you can put in a better dimensioning scheme if you want. I think the best thing to do would be to give the distance between here and here. It'll get rid of that angle for you. And next, just take a look at this in 2D again. It looks like the dimensions are pretty good. And again, you can see it's way back here on this plane here. All right. Doesn't make any difference. We're going to make a section over here referencing the geometry on the pulley, and it's going to move in this direction, not on that plane, but parallel to it. So everybody gets a little confused thinking they have to have a datum plane where they're going to do their sketch for the trajectory. You do not have to do that. Right mouse button, OK. There's your trajectory. It's still active. So we're going to click on sweep, and it's going to select that. And if you want, put your cursor over here. You can make it go in the other direction. Or you can just come and find another position for it too. Flip chain direction. Okay, so I want it flipped that way, so I'm looking in the other direction. And we're going to come up, and I'm going to pick on my sketch icon, and then go into 2D here. This gets a little bit confused from some people. Let's uncheck everything so we see this clearly. And you can see here's where our references are. So we're going to be building the geometry referencing this geometry on the pulley. So we need some references. And we're going to only end up needing one dimension because we're using all these references. Now you can actually go in and get Machinery's Handbook and get some nice cross-section of a pulley, if you wish, and of a belt. So we're going to click on chain, line chain, and we're just going to basically, oh, there we go. See, I'm going too fast. All the way down. Now the reason there's no dimensions on here is because I accidentally made these across from each other. You can see that extended out. So there's no dimensions whatsoever. None. Now let's go into our standard orientation. We'll see where we are. It's going to sweep it in this direction, using this as the directional plane, but not on that area. It's just saying move it along that same direction in the same order through the geometry. So right mouse button, OK. There's my belt, middle mouse button. While we're there, let's go to View and let's go to the gallery. And if you go into miscellaneous, you can bring out the rubber. And I'll pick on the one that's not too dark. And while I'm here also, I'm going to go and select my round. And maybe I'll just auto round everything. I got a feeling that's not very good or big auto round. So let's edit it. 0.1, 0.01. How about just 0.1? And regenerate. And there's our belt. So activate full assembly. You don't have to see that sketch. You can click on it and you can hide it. So we'll go into our standard orientation and turn off the axes and maybe do a little shading with reflections. Like so. Now if you want, you can continue on and put a pulley over here and make another shaft and do whatever else you want to make this a little more complicated. This ends lesson 21 lecture.